CEOs have a lot on their plate. Especially as your company grows, you're constantly trying to influence outcomes without as much control as you'd really like. And that requires a huge amount of effort in terms of relationship building, interaction with people, and making decisions. The emphasis you need to place on strategic thinking, reflection, and developing greater insight takes time too, all of which goes some way to explain why Harvard Business School have found that, on average, CEOs spend 62.5 hours a week working. Now, this isn't a complaint, that's what the job entails, and most of the time you're well compensated for it. But then along come the work-life balance brigade, telling us that life isn't about success, but happiness, and laying a stage that pits work and life against each other. You're made to feel guilty for working hard, and regaled with stories of people working single-digit hours per week for multiple millions in income, while you fritter away your evenings trying to steer your ship through choppy tides. It's all nonsense, of course. Balance in any form is a fleeting, temporary concept, and work is part of life, not separate from it. And if you've decided to take on this whole CEO thing, then you probably already knew about the cost. So stop feeling guilty. Stop trying to achieve balance. It doesn't exist, and it's no fun anyway. So here's a new frame to view things through. Successful people are extreme. They're extreme in their views, in their behaviors, and in their results. To achieve unusual outcomes, you must use unusual approaches. Embrace the extremes, pursue your goals with intensity, and don't apologize for doing so. You'll be happier and more fulfilled both personally and professionally if you stop holding back and just throw yourself in. Balance inherently is average, and that's not what you're after, is it? The key to thriving as a CEO is finding joy in your work, engaging with it passionately and pursuing it relentlessly. The truth is, running a business is a lot of fun if you view it through the right lens. Okay, it's stress-inducing, frustrating, ever-changing goalpost fun, but it's fun nonetheless. The challenge is figuring out how to make a business work, and that's one of the most rewarding challenges that you can take on, because just as you think you've cracked it, the ground beneath your feet shifts and you're back to where you started. Only this time, you're sure you've got the answer. So as soon as you start relishing this game of CEO-dom, then you start having fun. And if you dedicate yourself to it unabashedly, it'll light you up and fulfill you in endless ways. And this isn't to say you shouldn't have other interests and pursuits. Family is important. So are hobbies, experiences, holidays, and enjoying the world and people around you. But instead of splitting up your time into work and life, be outcome-focused in everything you do. By asking the question, what do I want from this part of my life? You'll find yourself aligning your personal activities with your professional ambitions, and also uncovering ways to integrate the two that bring greater performance and satisfaction in both. In fact, Forbes magazine did some research into this, and they found that CEOs who align their personal passions with their business pursuits are 20% more productive and experience higher levels of satisfaction because they see their entire life as a patchwork of different goals, rather than as a compartmentalized work-life dichotomy. But to do that effectively, you've got to forget about 9 to 5. In the words of the late Jim Rohn, when you're at the office, be at the office, and when you're at the beach, be at the beach. You know there will be days in the next week when you're working late into the night and flinging yourself awake in the small hours to make that call with Korea or capture the brilliant idea you've just had. So don't feel bad if you're meeting your wife for a coffee at 1 p.m. or spending Tuesday morning with your kids. As long as you're doing what needs to be done, use all 24 hours in the day that makes sense, in ways that make sense for what you want to achieve. Now, you'll probably feel a bit naughty at first, but you'll find yourself much more productive once you get the hang of it. Because this is what it comes down to. Balance is boring. The pursuit of it is a clear path to mediocrity, encouraging you to stay comfortable, avoid intensity, and be normal. Embracing the extremes of life, on the other hand, will make you a better CEO and a better everything else as well. Now, I'm not making the case for abdicating responsibility. In fact, Extreme ownership is a key element of taking an extreme approach. But rather than wasting your energy chasing some arbitrary standard of balance, decide what's important to your life and pursue it with passion. Extremes drive success, passion precedes pleasure, and life is meant to be lived fully.